It is for me an absolute joy to be here as we launch this project to revitalize our capital city and throw a spotlight on what we are to do. The historical development of any city, particularly a country's capital city, is often intertwined with its own economic, political, and cultural growth. And in this respect, Port of Spain is no different. The Port of Spain we know now is certainly not the Port of Spain of our parents and grandparents. There are many, for example, with memories as old as the lighthouse that greets travelers on entrance into Port of Spain, who will recall the old train station that eventually became the bus terminus on South Quay. They recall just as vividly, but perhaps for different reasons, the Miramar nightclub on Henry Street that was both a buzz of local economic activity and the location of the Mighty Sparrows' 10-to-1 is murder. That was the time when Kirpalanis and Woolworth occupied downtown Port of Spain. Salvatore Building was the tallest building in Trinidad and Tobago, and women sold lottery tickets from clipboards. Over the years, though, even as the imposing structures of the Hall of Justice and the National Library were constructed, even as Citygate replaced the bus terminus and the Brian Lara Promenade was constructed, even as Kirpalanis and Woolworth gave way to shopping malls and plazas, the Union Club gave way to Nicholas Tower, and even as the Breakfast Shed gave way to the Femmes du Chalet, the pulsating life of the city seemed to fade away ever so slowly. As town no longer became this magical place to visit, the shop fronts became decorated by the homeless and the pavements by evidence of their existence. Even the calm serenity of the now sadly demolished Greyfriars Church has been replaced by the hustle and bustle of a car park. The sad and yet inescapable truth is that Port of Spain has lost its shine, and the time for renewal and repair is now. Ladies and gentlemen, this government has already demonstrated its respect for this country's history. Very deliberately, we have refurbished President's House, Stallmeyer's Castle, Whitehall, Millefleur, and Queen's Royal College, 5 of the magnificent 7 buildings that dot the Queen's Park Savannah. We have completed the Government Plaza and created an international waterfront. We have refurbished the Red House and are well on our way to completing the renovation and establishment of the Dr. Eric Williams Memorial Library. This is as opportune a time as any to express our sincerest thanks to the chairman and board and management and staff of UDCOT, who have been in the forefront of this revitalization and remain set to play another great innings in the regeneration of Port of Spain. Today, we stand on the cusp of a new era in Port of Spain. Today, we stand ready to commence the revitalization of our capital city and engage in a period of urban transformation that is planned, deliberate, and as intentional as it is inspirational. Ladies and gentlemen, with the inexorable march of history and the inflection of time, cities like Port of Spain find themselves in a constant process of metamorphosis and must face the unavoidable challenge of continuous regeneration. Any city, whether old or new, small or large, is more than a place where people live and survive. It's a place with which they identify, contribute, and invariably weave into the unfolding stories of their lives. The more beautiful a city, the more valued it becomes for its inhabitants. And the more intimate the bond they feel with the city, the closer they feel to others thriving there as well. To renew your city, then, is to renew the soul of your country. To heal your capital city is to heal those who inhabit its space. And that's the journey upon which we embark today. Ladies and gentlemen, as laudable a venture as it is then, the purpose of urban renewal and redevelopment is not only to help a city on its path, it is to instill a feeling of civic pride in its inhabitants, or reduce vandalism and crime. Revitalization projects also make perfect economic sense, and we at the Ministry of Planning and Development, under the guidance and vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, see this project as yet another arrow in the quiver of diversification initiatives being undertaken by this Keith Rowley administration. Combined with the regeneration of East Port-of-Spain, we expect this project to stimulate much-needed economic activity in our capital city, and in so doing, bring relief to many. The revitalization of the City of Port-of-Spain project has therefore been conceptualized and will be executed to advance the image of Port-of-Spain as a 21st century city, to improve local economic viability, and to provide a quality environment for residents and tourists. But even as I make this bold declaration, I can hear the collective groan of many who are aware that there have been 16 plans for the revitalization and regeneration of Port-of-Spain between 1968 and 2015. All of them, bar none, have spoken to the upgrading of cultural spaces, development of prime real estate for residential and commercial spaces, and the upgrading of key infrastructure such as roads and drainage to alleviate traffic and flooding problems. What then will make this plan any different? I proffer 3 reasons. 1, this government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Keith Rowley. 2, UDCOT, under the leadership of Noel Garcia. And 3, the Ministry of Planning and Development, under my leadership. Today and ongoing, we intend to and will get this done. Since the initial consultation on this project was undertaken in September 2019, the process has moved apace, and 5 priority issues for development have been identified by stakeholders. These are traffic management, safety and security, commerce and investment, social development, and residential renewal. Following this consultation, the well-known architectural firm of NLBA Architects Limited undertook a further round of focus group meetings with stakeholders, and the results of which formed the basis of the plan, and UDCOT was submitted this plan less than 5 months later on February 10th, 2020. This plan addresses the social and economic gaps which can stimulate the private sector to partner with the government in the revitalization and redevelopment of Port-of-Spain. The Town and Country Planning Division has reformed its constraints to allow strategic development, giving new height, density, and building allowance coverages. In this regard, the final report recommends that town and country codes be applied to a regulating line and not, as previously insisted upon, a zone. Thus, the theme City of Festivals can be assigned to the regulating line in an effort to catalyze and maintain year-round activity by bringing life and festivals back to the city. But the question will be asked, where do we start this necessary work? The master plan has determined 4 critical prerequisites, and they begin as follows: cleaning and washing of the city, increasing the police presence in the city, significantly improving the lighting of the city, and relocating the homeless from the streets of the city. Additionally, the master plan identifies the following areas as catalyst projects via public-private partnerships for the revitalization efforts. And they are the Memorial Plaza development, the development of the Salvatore site, and the development of the area that we now call Piccadilly Street, the PowerGen development site, the Citygate development, the Mucurapo foreshore green space, the inner city transit system. Additionally, the plan has identified a list of incentives for all stakeholders, developers, financiers, and purchasers. The plan has also identified a step-by-step process of addressing the drainage system for the city. Ladies and gentlemen, in a culture imbued with an insatiable desire for quick returns, the idea of urban renewal might take longer than most people hope. Whilst specific buildings and small projects can be done in a few years, the experience from other major cities tells us that revitalization of an entire city can be time-consuming and requires 2 things: patience and continuity. We believe, however, that this is the right time to begin, that we have both the public eagerness and the political will on our side, and we have the right stakeholders in NLBA Architects and UDICOT and Prime Minister Keith Rowley to guide us through this experience. The Keith Rowley administration is of the view that our capital city is strategically placed to serve primarily as a national, cultural, recreational, leisure, commercial, and business center. Moreover, we are confident that the master plan's recommended improvements will enhance the infrastructural functionality, aesthetics, and security of our city, thus enabling it to regain and expand its historic role as a 24/7 activity center. I am absolutely convinced that the Port of Spain we deserve is well within our reach, and the journey to the Port of Spain we long for commences today. I thank you for the courtesy of your attention, and may God continue to bless us all.